want to start this video out with a little bit of inspiration and some food for thought. We choose our destination by the roads we take. What that means is the choices you make in life are going to determine where you end up in life. If you decide not to do any work in life, then you won't have nothing to show for it. You know, it's literally that simple. You know, everybody starts out at the same starting point with nothing, not even clothes on your back. You know, what you leave behind in this life is what you decide to leave behind. You know, whether that's a legacy, a myth, a legend, or nothing. You know, and the saddest thing is when somebody takes their life and they do nothing with it. And they are forgotten about within a day or two of them leaving this life. A month, a year. That is one of the biggest tragedies. You know, we only have one life that we know of. We don't know what happened before, what happens after. You know, there's a lot of speculation and a lot of religions and everything, you know, but the one certainty is we know what's in front of us and we know what is right now, and that's it. You got to live by faith if you believe in other things, or you can decide not to live with faith at all and just, you know, except for whatever we got now, that's it. That's all we really truly know. Whatever's in front of our eyes, that's what's happening. You know? And a lot of guys, they let this fear of the unknown paralyze them into inaction. What I mean by that is they say, well, I don't know if I'll have work, so I might as well not buy a dump truck. Or I don't know if I'll be able to run a business, so I don't want to run a business. Or they say, I got all these responsibilities. I don't want to take the risks of running a business. You know, I got to take care of my family. You know, if you got a family, you got to take care of your family, you know. Starting a business is very risky. They say it's risky. But it's only as risky as you make it. I got to be honest with you. It's only as risky as you make it. If you have an ironclad work ethic, there's nothing risky about it. You cannot fail. You cannot lose. If you have the work ethic that says no matter what, I'm going to outwork everybody around me. I'm going to show up early. I'm going to leave late. I'm going to do whatever it takes. You can't fail if that's your work ethic. If your work ethic is, yeah, I'll get to it later, or, you know, yeah, I'll just pay somebody to do this, or I'll just, you know, I'll just put that off, or, you know, I can't do this right now because I need rest, or I need this, or I need that, or what if this happens? Then it's very risky. You know, but if you're the type of man or woman, in some cases, most of you guys that watch my channel are men, so I'm just going to address everybody as men. Men and boys, you know, because that's 99% of my viewership, is, you know, the risk you take on is directly correlated to how hard you work and how hard you're willing to work. You know, I used to think business was really risky, but now I know that it's not. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. There's always work. There always will be work, no matter what. No matter what, there will always be something to do. Something. You got to find out what that something is. That's sometimes the tricky part, is finding out what there is to do and what people are paying for what work. You know, you have to sit down and you have to, you know, add up numbers and subtract numbers and multiply and divide numbers and figure out what's the best plan for you and what you determine is worth it and what's not worth it. You know, I just want to say, you know, I started my business with an $8,000 truck. $8,000 is what it cost me. It had a cracked frame. It had no lights, no muffler. The tires were bald. All the airlines were cracked, dry rotted, and leaking. Different bald tires, different size tires, different types of rims. The drop axle frame was completely cracked to shit. You know, the truck was completely clapped out, worn out, put away wet. Like, there was nothing to show for this truck. It was literally nothing. It had one of the least desirable power sources, you know, what most truck drivers say is a good power source. It had an AP92 Silver in it, Detroit. They're known for leaking oil and being not fuel efficient. I've heard all the jokes, you know. Add oil, check the fuel. You know, if it's not leaking oil, it's because it's out of oil. You know, they come leaking from the factory, this and that and the other. You know, the one thing that you got to remember, and I took this lesson from Justin. I don't like giving him a lot of credit, you know, because I don't know. I'll give him his credit where it's due. Let me just put it that way. In one of his videos, he said you got to learn to turn chicken shit into diamonds. And it takes a lot of pressure to do that. And I'll tell you what, you can do it. You can do it. If you want to, if you work hard enough. You know, and if you work hard enough, people see how hard you're working. They want to join your effort. They want to join your team. They see you're going places. A lot of those people want to join your team because they're leeches. You know, they want to suck your energy out. You know, a lot of people do that. You're gonna find those people along the way. They'll want to join your team because you're winning, and they want to win, but they want to win off of you winning instead of helping you win, which helps them win. You gotta be very astute and aware of those types of people. You'll know it. You'll see their actions. Don't listen to people's words. Just watch their actions. That's all you have to know. They will be very, 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 very slick. They will know everything to say. That's one of the warning signs. When they're all slick and they know exactly what to say and they know how to butter you up and, you know, freaking put sunshine where it don't normally go, they're usually the ones, you know, that want to win off of you winning. They don't want to help you win. I mean, they're willing to do a little bit, but they ain't all in like you are. You know, they want to kind of profit off of what you built. You'll find those people in life. I guarantee that if you do anything successful in life, if you start really winning, those people will show up. They will come out of the woodwork. You know? And the only way to really discern between the types of people that are, you know, there to actually win with you and win against you is watch their actions. Watch them closely. You know? And I hate to say, it's sad to say, you know, some people are willing to help you win, and then they fall off. For some reason or another, they take something personal, or they take something the wrong way. There's a miscommunication or something along those lines. And, not all relationships last forever. Takes two to tango. Sometimes there's a miscommunication on our part. Sometimes there's a miscommunication on their part. And expectations aren't met. And, that's when people get disappointed. And, you just got to watch the signs. And when somebody isn't winning for you to win and for them to win, and you guys aren't working as a team, that's when it's just time to just dead it, cut it. Sometimes it's worth salvaging, sometimes it ain't. You got to determine that. And I never thought, I'd be running a business for 8 years. I'm going on 7, but next year it'll be 8. I'm never going to stop running my own business. I've learned that now. I've learned who I am and what I am, and what my purpose is in life. But when I first started, I had no idea. I thought it was a good idea. I thought I was, I had a dream and a goal, and I was working for it, and I was working towards it. And nothing was going to stop me. Nothing was going to get in my way. Anybody that said otherwise, I immediately wrote them off. And that's what you got to do. If somebody says something against you, you just got to discredit them and say, you know what, they don't know what they're talking about, or it didn't work for them because they weren't willing to work hard enough, or you got to come up with something in your head. Inbound electron. You got to come up with something in your head at least that's what I did. That's what I did. I became very, very, very opinionated, to the point where I have to learn things on my own. If something's not going to work, I have to learn it on my own. And I've learned I take opinions from multiple sources. I take opinions from anybody that will give me their opinion. And then, out of all, I just weed through everything I've ever heard. And then I make my own choice. Whichever sounds the best. Right? Like they say, more brains is better than one. You know what I mean? But I don't ever take one person's opinion.
Bridgegate.
Coming in on the Bridgegate right now. I don't ever take anybody's opinion higher than anybody else's, really. There are levels to it, but they're not all, cut and dry. Oh, this person's opinion is 1,000% and this person's 0%. You know what I mean? Obviously, there are levels to it, And you gotta take the circumstances, and you gotta evaluate everything yourself, Like Justin, one of the reasons he's, stopped liking me and stopped talking to me and this and that is because he'd give me his opinion and, I went a different route. And I had to make those choices because I'm in a different state than him. A lot of things are the same, but a lot of things are different. A lot of things can apply and a lot of things don't. And the way you can run a business in Ohio is different than you can run a business in Washington. They're two completely different worlds. And a lot of guys ask me, well, what can I expect? And I'm like, honestly, you can expect whatever you want to expect. You're not really going to know, what to do until you start working towards your goals. And when you start seeing, you know, what's happening, you're going to have to be a little reactionary, you know, when you're running a business. You got to be a problem solver, you know. You got to be able to, you got to be willing to take on those challenges of not knowing the future, but going towards it no matter what. And you're going to face some big, serious problems and some big, serious, what do I do? No matter what state you're in, no matter what area you're in, no matter what industry you go in, you're going to have to face those. Inbound fish culvert, inbound fish culvert. And you're going to have to, you know, the best thing to do, and I've developed this over time, this is not my first instinct, is to take a couple steps back and say, okay, don't panic. What are all the options? What are all the options? If you start jumping on conclusions, sometimes that's when you're going to make your biggest, you know, mistakes. If you take the time to look at all the options without panicking, you know, you'll probably live your life a lot less stressful, you know. Like when the county was trying to fine me $1,000 a day, I started jumping to conclusions, you know, because I'd never experienced something like this before, you know, and it was just like, what do I do? Complete shock. Like, it came at me like a wall of bricks. I didn't know what to do. I'd never experienced it. I've never heard of anything like that before. It was a complete blindside to me. It may be different for you. You know, and everybody's going to react differently from different situations. And I found, for me, what works best is taking a step back, taking a couple breathers. You know, let's look at the options. What are the options? It's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, almost anything that happens is not the end of the world, okay? Unless you're on the ground bleeding to death, it's probably not the end of the world. Inbound 198 road. So, you know, anyways, that's the message I wanted to drop off to you guys today. Don't forget to pound that like button and pound that subscribe button. And share this on your social media site of preference. Don't forget to comment below. Tell me some of the experiences that you faced in your business, or something that you are anticipating. You know, don't just be a ninja watcher. We got a lot of ninjas. We got a lot of ninjas in the scenes, in the spectator seats. You know, don't be afraid to leave a comment or a question. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.